Casey Ashmore coming to you from the road. Thanks again for joining me. Beautiful morning here in Mustang Island, Texas. Wanted to share a little bit with you. The video series that we are doing right now is a deep dive on Texas civil litigation, and I'm picking up where I left off with collecting the money judgment, chasing the judgment more or less. But before I start, as I've done for the last several months, we want to especially acknowledge our friends and neighbors who are not working, cannot provide for their family due to the coronavirus pandemic. We are praying for a quick return to some more normalcy, because this isn't normal. People should be able to provide for their families, and we're hoping that there's an end in sight to this. The other thing, obviously, that is challenging our nation is how we're going to live up to the rhetoric of our own revolution, that we are all created equal under God in light of the tragic death of Mr. George Floyd in Minnesota. We are praying for unity, healing, and solidarity, and that we all find a way to do better and live better. The money judgment, you've got it. The jury gave it to you. Now you got to collect it. How does that work? Post-judgment discovery, one of the great things, it's a very, very good tool, is if you got a defendant who has not paid the judgment, haven't put up a bond, and it's up on appeal with or without a bond, you can serve post-judgment discovery. You can get a look at all their financial records that you didn't have the right to before you had the money judgment, and they don't get to object. They have to turn the records over if they've got them. And you can use the court system to really put some pressure on the defendant or judgment debtor. And you can make them sit for a deposition. You can examine them about all their assets. And if it's a corporate defendant, that's a good thing, because corporate defendants cannot have assets. So the fact of the matter is that it's still a long chase, and you've got to find out where they're stashing the money. And from the money stashing, the garnishments can then start occurring, and that might be a situation where you appoint a receiver to start collecting those money judgments. So the scenario that is most often presented to me, and clients are really struggle with the challenge of understanding, is that we've got the money judgment, we've served post-judgment discovery, we know where the financial records are, now we need to get another law firm involved. Again, more expense. Client doesn't understand why, because they already won, but another law firm involved, a law firm that might have access to, or might have a licensed private investigator, a financial private investigator, gives them access to a lot more financial records. Then, they specialize in collecting money judgments, and you've got to bring them on, make them part of the team, so you can get your recovery, so you can turn your day in court into an actual collected money judgment. And that is hard for anyone to swallow, because they've already put the time and expense and everything we talked about in the civil trial process, all those hours of work, all those dollars of resources, and all of that has only led up to another chase, right? The jury's already awarded it, and clients really struggle with that. But what I tell you is there are some great law firms in North Texas who really can assist with that. We work with them. We have worked against them to help clients defend themselves from collection of money judgment. And that's how we got to know them. But they are sophisticated and diligent and skilled at what they do, and they're absolutely worth bringing on the team, because they can turn your day in court into something you can put in your bank account more often than not. And even though, yes, it's the expenditure of more resources to collect the judgment that the court has already given you, that's part of the civil litigation process. And it can be challenging. Texas is a good state to be a debtor, and it's been known to be a good state to be a debtor for years. We have a homestead exemption. Your house is exempt from all debts, with the exception of very few. And while businesses don't have a lot of exemptions, it can be tough to collect against individuals and businesses in Texas. So again, that's one of the things that we always tell clients to look at the forefront of a case, is how collectible is this judgment if you are to prevail. And that's something that you want to answer that question on the front end before you're all the way through this case, and on the back end looking at more efforts for collection. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. If any questions or comments, leave me one on any video platform. I'll reply back to it in a direct message back to you, or a subsequent video, or both. Thank you again. God bless America.